Yo guys, what's going on? Ace is here today with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing a couple survival tips that I've learned over the past 2 days of playing survival. So I'm just going to throw some survival gameplay in the background. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. But I'm going to start from pretty much beginning to end. Now I've played survival about 5 to 6 times now, and I've pretty much got the whole thing down. It's so hard. So let me break it down starting from the beginning. You're going to get a spawn. You're either going to spawn on the right side of the map or the left side of the map. Now, the right side has some really good perks to it. There's usually more medicine and clothing on that side for me. But on the left side, it has a lot more loot in general, such as weapon parts, tools, electronics, and fabric. But there isn't that much medicine over there from what I've seen. So really, playing through it, the left side is more favorable because you can fight from the left to right. Go in the dark zone, and usually you're going to be right next to the antivirals, and it really just works out really well. But we went way too far ahead. Let's kick it back a little bit. So your cold meter is going to be in the top right, and your cold resistance is going to be affected by how much clothing you have on. Honestly, the best way to get clothes off the rip are to actually go looking in the clothing stores or locations with suitcases that are open that look like they have a bunch of clothes in them. If you find a suitcase, you have a pretty good chance of getting a 10 plus item. Usually there's one spawn on the right side that has like a 16 scarf in it almost every time, or 14 pants. It's really awesome. But you're mainly gonna want to focus for the first 30-ish minutes on getting your cold resistance up to -17. That's what it is in the dark zone. There's a couple places in there where it's like -20, but it's really not going to affect you that much. So once you are at -17 resistance, then you're pretty much set for the dark zone. Make your filter, which requires like 2 fabric, 2 blue fabric, and like 2 tools, I think. So it's going to be fairly simple to get into the dark zone, but your next step is actually traveling to the dark zone. Now, if you didn't know, you're going to be spawning on the edges of the city. So the further in towards the dark zone you get, the harder the enemies are. It's going to go from 28, 29, 30, then purple 30s, and then once you get in the dark zone, you can see anything from named enemies down to regular level 30s. So you're going to start out with all green stuff. By the time you're in the dark zone, you should have at least all blue stuff. And once you get into the dark zone, you're going to be getting all high-end materials, and you want to use those to make yourself better weaponry, better gear if possible, to prepare for your extraction and your antibodies. So what you're going to do is you're going to look for your antibodies on your map, and you're going to head there. As soon as you get your antibodies, you're going to be pretty much set, but there's one more thing you have to create. You need 2 high-end weapon parts and 1 division tech. If you've already got your antibodies, you'll have your 1 division tech. It comes with your antibodies, and you just got to get 2 high-end weapon parts. You can then create your flare gun used for extraction. Once you go to any hideout, make that flare gun. Make sure you have your skills. Make sure you have your weapons. Make sure you are prepared for that final fight. One really good tip is to actually invest in that extra medic or extra med kit slot, because you're going to need it. Now, my first run through of survival, when I extracted, the only time I ever got out was my first very attempt, and it was the one I didn't record, unfortunately. So when I was in the final battle, it was in the middle of a street, and one single high-end enemy, which is just a yellow enemy, it's not like a vet, I don't think, it's something else, or a lieutenant or something, came out. Now, I've gotten to the extraction point 2 other times, and one time was just a swarm of purple enemies, but this third time, which was my most recent attempt, it was a division agent. And what I mean by that is this division agent was literally stacked up. It has so much, it jams your systems. It has its own medic station. It has your medic skill. It has med kits. It has a extremely powerful LMG, and if you don't take him out right away, then he's going to have reinforcements come in. One beautiful thing about it is he doesn't have a shield, so if you have a marksman rifle, it's going to be a bit easier. I was finding that my marksman rifle was taking him down to about half health before he healed. Didn't beat him, however, but that first attempt, I had 1 enemy, and I extracted easily. There was no lieutenant, and there was no division agent. So I got extremely lucky on that first one, but like I was saying, you're going to be facing a division agent. If you don't get some really good gear off the rip, you're not going to be able to take down this division agent. It's just not going to happen. And I even had really decent gear, and I couldn't take him down. But I was only running a couple purples and all blues. Other attempts, I got trapped in a secluded area versus 7 veteran purple enemies, and I died like that. There's just so many ways to die. But one other tip I can give you guys is group play is very, very tough. It's kind of like a liability, but a sense of you have a second wind and you have an extra chance to get rezzed. But honestly, playing in a group is going to hurt you more than it's going to help you, and that's the honest to God's truth. Just because there's not enough material and stuff to go around unless you two split and then meet up in the dark zone. But both of you getting to the dark zone isn't a high probability either. So guys, with that being said, that's my main tips, strategies, help, whatever. That's the best advice I can give you for survival. I'm going to keep learning more, keep playing it, and seeing if I can find some more new strategies. Really, the outside world is probably the easiest part, and the dark zone is the hardest part. Mainly because there's so many different things that go into getting your antibodies, flare gun, and then extracting. And that final boss fight is just something I don't know if it happens every time, and I just don't have enough experience yet to completely 100% give you a guaranteed solution or strategy. So guys, with that being said, if you did enjoy this video today, leave a like. It helps me out a bunch. Subscribe if you're new around here. Check out my sponsors in the description below. I'm out.